All right, friend, Kris Krohn here, and we are in our partnering series, and now we're talking about the technicalities of purchasing this amazing deal. What can you expect? How's it gonna go? So check it out. Now we've got a deal under contract, and it's time for us to fulfill on that. There's some things that need to happen for this to happen. Number one, we've already been through pre-qualification, but if it's been a while since we've updated the finances, the team might request some updated W-2s or some of your most recent pay stubs. They might want some of your other accounts updated. Work aggressively with the team, which means fast, to make sure that they have all the financial documents that they need, because purchasing a property in today's day usually takes anywhere from 30 to 45 days. And I want you to understand that banks can be very difficult to work with, and they're the ones that are eating up most of that time. They're gonna come back with conditions along the way and say, oh, we've been processing everything and we need this or we need that. I want you to understand that when you get a condition back from my team, from a bank on something that they want, this is not one of those, oh, we could probably do that this weekend. Maybe we could do it next week. No! It's actually something that needs to happen immediately. You want to have a same day response if you can to supplying a document or a piece of paper or a letter, whatever they might ask. Now I want to warn you, they can ask for some crazy, ridiculous things. They might want to know the color of your underpants. And you know what? We just give it to them because they're the bank, and if we want them to carry the majority of the liability, we got to play by the rules. There is no negotiating with the banks. They're negotiating and telling us what we have to give them for us to consider the loan. Now we've done the pre-qualification, which means we should be able to get it. And 95% of the time that's true. But the bank is still going to uncover some quirks here or have requests there. And if we don't fulfill on them, we might not get that loan. So we want to be super prompt. Now, once we're under contract, some things are going to happen. There's going to be a due diligence period. There's going to be an inspection period. There's going to be a loan qualification period. We can always back out of the deal, but I'm telling you that if we got it under contract and my team has said, here's the ROI, here's the numbers, this is good to go, we're no longer wondering that. We're doing the inspection to see if anything gets uncovered that we want to ask the seller to fix and take care of. We're going to review the seller disclosures where they talk about the property and anything they're aware of that might actually be wrong with it. Other than that, we've got the appraisal process going on, and the day will come when it's time to close. Now I want to prepare you for this. The closing day, doesn't matter where you live, we're going to be basically sending out a certified individual to you, a notary, or send you to a certain title company, and you're going to show up and it'll be somewhere local and relatively easy for you to get to, and they're basically going to have you sign on all the papers. Now, I want you to understand a couple of things. The very first house I bought, I was a pain in the butt. I was skeptical. I know this sounds like really, really weird, but when it comes to money, I am kind of a skeptical person. I was skeptical. It took 3 hours to close on my very first home because I read almost all of the fine print. And when I had the title person across the way reading me my rights and explaining things, I didn't know whether I should trust them. Was this true? What was the, because you're going to sign your name like 100 times is what it feels like, right? I'm going to give you like a little evening bout of arthritis at the end of this thing. And they want your John Hancock over and over and over again. I want you to understand something. I've been through this process a million times. I've been power of attorney even for some of my partners where I signed on their behalf. And I want you to know, I know everything that's in those documents. I know what we're promising. I know what we're requiring. And I want you to understand, when you partner with me, it's important for you to understand everything so you feel comfortable. I just want you to understand, I've been through this so many times, I'm comfortable. I wouldn't put anything in front of you that I wouldn't sign myself because often I am. I'm signing on it, I'm there with you making this happen. Now, you're also going to get a review of the costs. We are trained in our society to be rate conscious and we want the best deal we possibly can get. I'm the best deal that you got. We're gonna have to pay some fees to make this thing fly, right? If we're partnered up or if you're looking to partner with other people, you gotta understand, you gotta pay the loan officer for working with the bank to get everything packaged to do a loan for you. You're gonna have to pay the realtor that was involved, that helped actually find the deal and played their role to make sure contracts and paperwork was done correctly and that due diligence periods and inspections were ordered correctly and that everything happened. You're gonna have to pay the coordination fee. Once in a while I get people who are like, dude, why do I gotta pay this extra fee of $5,000 that's wrapped into the deal? Friends, first of all, if we can, we're wrapping it in, but you gotta understand, 342 average hours that my collective team puts in to make this go down. You're not going to see or understand or know about all those things because I'm trying to protect you and keep you out of the finer details. You always get to ask and you always get to learn. But remember, if we set up this partnership right, we're trying to put it on autopilot where you can live your life and this hums in the background, creating tremendous wealth with time. So when you think of coordination fee, the coaches and the people that worked with the property managers, the repair teams if they were needed, the rehabs, it's a flat fee. Some properties need more, some need less. That's the way that we can keep the price cheapest per property. That's gonna be in there. And then, by the way, when we're done buying the property, there will be some very minor, very small accounting fees for me to pay someone to do the books and make sure that I can send you quarterly reports. And once a year, we send you out a really nice annual portfolio that basically gives you all the details and everything on our partnership for the year, where we're headed, what's going, what's next. And so I want you to be prepared that when you sign, you're signing on all those things. If you got questions, you just need to ask. And my team will be there to answer any of them. But anytime we have any bigger headache like, Kris, I don't understand this, I don't understand that, you text me, you come to me. That's what the partnership's about. It's about helping you have a good experience. Now, you're at the closing table. If you're like me and you've signed enough times, you'll get to the point where your closing looks like this. You're gonna pull out the stopwatch, you're gonna hit the start, and you're gonna go zoom, 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 zoom. And my quickest closing, I think I clocked in like 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Maybe you'll have a goal of beating that, but I'm pretty wicked fast when it comes to signing and getting through all that stuff. Once you've signed it, the next thing that's gonna happen about a week or so later, or it could even be simultaneous, is now we have this property, and if you are the one with your credit on the line or somebody else, it's gonna be in their credit. Now we're gonna have the property deeded into the LLC. The LLC is responsible for making the payments, so my team will probably say, hey, will you go talk to the bank and add us to the mortgage so we can make direct payments? We wanna be on direct deposit. You'll have access to the bank account so that you can see the activity and everything that's happening in there. Basically, we get that property. It may be rented out, it may not. We'll get you updated on that. We get it rented out. Now the property management, wherever we are in the country, they're gonna be doing a monthly deposit of the money into the bank account. That's getting listed with the person managing the books. We're using the money to go ahead and pay the mortgage. We've got a sleep well at night account of money in the bank that says we have a buffer that's getting better, bigger with time, but goes up and down and fluctuates. We'll decide when to do profit distributions. Basically, we set it and forget it. My team every quarter is looking at the property saying, can we refinance? Can we sell? For the first couple of years, there's not much point in looking, but once in a while you get lucky because we want to pull that money out and we want to turn it into more. Or once we've got enough profit, we want to access it and we want to redeploy it so we can grow a bigger and bigger and bigger portfolio. Friends, thank you so much for watching this video. What do you do after that? Rinse and repeat. You want to go faster, you want to build more wealth, we need to buy another property, either from the assets in the house itself, or if you have other assets, put them in the next deal and we'll grow this portfolio as big as we possibly can. On our next video, I am going to be covering the good, the bad, and the ugly because I want you to know that real estate will have its day. If you buy enough homes, you're going to have that nightmare experience, but we're prepared for it and we're going to take that nightmare, we're going to turn it into a nice, soft, fuzzy, cute little dream. If you are looking at partnering with me and you aren't already yet, or you haven't been through the qualification process, generally individuals have saved up 6 figures or 7 figures or more that are sitting in 401ks, IRAs, home equity, etc. And you go through an interview process. We'll explain a lot more to you and decide if it would make good sense for you and I to actually partner up on something. We'll see you on the next video.